everybody, it's Kristin. I have my final video in my 2016 Game Changer series. If you haven't watched those, I will go ahead and list a playlist below. And for those of you that have, and I've gotten such great feedback on this, I really appreciate it. I enjoyed filming that series so much. It has to be my favorites, yearly favorites that I have done probably since I started YouTube. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that it was so well received by you guys. So we'll plan on bringing it back at the end of 2017. All right, so having said all of that, Tammy from Uppy's Beads, which if you are not familiar with her, I will link her below. She is a good friend of mine here on YouTube, and she tagged me and a bunch of other ladies to do their 2016 most surprising products. So I saw that when I was in the midst of doing my 2016 Game Changers. So what I did is within my spreadsheet, I kind of highlighted which products I thought would be my favorites, or my biggest surprises, excuse me, because that's what it was all about, biggest surprises. I highlighted which ones I thought would be my biggest surprises, and then I narrowed that down to my top 5. So we are going to go ahead and jump in, and I'm going to even rank these 5 to 1. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. My 5th biggest surprise of the year is a product that I actually don't have currently, but you have seen me talk about it before, and it's the Sephora, I think it's the Inner Rim Gel Liner is what they call it, and it's in the shade Queen of the Nile, which is just a black shade. I realize that doesn't seem very exciting, but it stays in my waterline so well, and it stays the closest to that Marc Jacobs liner that I have loved for a really long time now. And because of, the reason it's a surprising product is because it's $8. $8. The Marc Jacobs one I think is 20 something. I'll list that below, or I'll list here, or I'll list it below as far as like the grams and that sort of thing, because I'm sure the product, how much you get in each liner is probably a little bit different, but there's no way that Sephora liner doesn't end up being a better buy than the Marc Jacobs liner. All right, I just looked it up because it was bugging me. There's 0.5 grams in the Marc Jacobs liner. It sells for $23. I have the purple one of that same line here, and there's 0.3 grams for $8. You can buy 2 of those for $16. It's early math. For $16, and you're getting double what you get in the one for $23. So it's just a really good buy if you are having a hard time finding a black liner that will really stay well in your waterline. I will say the Marc Jacobs lasts just a little bit longer. I can see kind of the wear on the Queen of the Nile from the Sephora one, from the kind of inner waterline working itself out a little bit quicker than I do from the Marc Jacobs, but overall, for at least 8 hours, you could not tell the difference. So going forward, that's the one I'll purchase, and that was my 5th biggest surprise. My 4th biggest surprise of the year, this is so dramatic, is the Oribe Dry Texture Spray. I just really like this spray. It smells good, you know. It doesn't make the product work any better, but it doesn't hurt that it smells good. But it works so well for adding some texture to your hair, adding a little bit of volume, and also, especially when I'm going away just for the weekend and not flying. Not flying because it's too big for a carry-on. But so I'll just grab this, and this will double as a dry shampoo as well. I don't even know if it claims to do that, but it totally works. So I will use it at my roots for some volume. I'll use it if I have any kind of like, if my hair looks a little bit oily on day 2. It adds texture. I just really like it. It helps me, particularly when I round brush my hair, to not make it look so kind of helmet-like. Because if I like things to be a little bit precise sometimes, and if I'm not careful, I can turn myself into a little helmet head. So that's the number 4. Number 3, ooh, and I just broke one. Well, I was not broke it, but broke it apart in my hand, is the Doll 10 Lip Duos. So I don't know that these exact ones are available anymore. I do think that there's still a duo on QVC, if I remember correctly. I will list whatever I can find below for you, but I just really like these. They're such a nice formula. They glide on very nicely. There's good coverage on the lipsticks. The glosses have some good stick to them, but I have one on my lips today. I don't find them to be sticky. You're not going to get lines in between. It's not like a MAC lip glass or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But you still get a really nice shine. And like today, I have it over a Dose of Color shade because especially when I'm filming, and I didn't realize I was going to be filming today, I ended up having time, that's why. Anyway, I like to have a little more gloss on camera. So at any rate, I just really like these. So I think the original one I got in a kit, you know, that I purchased from QVC, and it took me a while even to figure out that they break apart, and I love that because you can put on like a long wear lipstick, and then if you want to have gloss over it, all you have to do for a night out is to grab this little gloss, and it's tiny. It would fit really well in a clutch or in your pocket, you know, if you're going to the club. You might be. I don't, but you might be. They have a very nice scent to them, nice doe foot applicator, very smooth. I really, really like these. So these are my number 3. Biggest surprise of 2016. Okay, we're down to the final 2. So my number 2 biggest surprise is the By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra Powder. I wonder if any of you guys are playing along and trying to guess what these are going to be. And if you've cheated by looking in the description box, no fair. So this, seriously, it's, you know, I'm not getting a lot of sleep lately, so I don't know what to tell you. This is the Hyaluronic Hydra Powder by Terry. I love this. This is not brand new information. I was so blown away by this. The very first time I wish that I had that on camera, the very first time that I put this under my under eyes, because it's just, you can see it's a remarkable difference from one to the other. And I've done it a couple of times on Get Ready With Me's, and I'll continue to do it because it's impressive to me. You can see it on camera how when you put it, it just blurs any lines that you have beneath your eye. So I will say this, I've heard from a couple people that it does give like some flashbacks. So don't try this for the first time on your wedding day or something, you know. But I love this. I really like it. It's hands down one of my biggest, most amazing finds of 2016. So what can top that, you ask? The L'Oreal Pro Glow is my number 1 biggest surprise of 2016. You know, I think why it's the biggest surprise is because it's drugstore. I expect generally, and I know that this is wrong, I'm just saying generally in my head, you think you pay more for something, it's gonna be a little better, right? And I know that we all know that drugstore has some great products. This just really blew me away. So I'm looking at the back of this and I never paid attention to it. It has like a finish, wear up to, coverage, and texture, which is interesting. So it says, in case you're curious, it says radiant coverage, 24-hour wear, the coverage is medium, and the texture is air light. Interesting. So this is very liquidy. This is completely gone, which makes me so sad. I really want to repurchase that right now because I have a lot of travel coming up again, and it's just such a go-to. Like, I don't ever have to worry about it, and it's light, which is nice. I mean, as far as the packaging is light, so I can, you know, right now, my favorite foundation again is the Dior Star, and for me to check, I have 2 of them, and these are like, listen, that's the 2 of them. That's heavy. Anyway, not the point. Let's go back to this. Bring it around, Kristin. This foundation, so the wear is amazing. It is, I don't know about 24 hours, I've never tried that, but it is, I have sometimes 15, 16-hour days, and it looks the same at the end of the day as it does at the beginning, and there are not a lot of foundations that can really do that without you doing a lot of extra things to it, with extra powder and sprays and that sort of thing. This is truly amazing. I think it gives them a fuller coverage myself, but it claims to do medium. I think I kind of do a couple of different layers, and you know, I'll put one on, maybe a little bit thinner layer, and then I do a little bit, anyway. It lasts and wears so well. It's just really, really nice. And I don't know about oily skin so much, and you know, it's funny, I did a review with this with Kirsten, and I can't remember off the top of my head what she thought about it. I'll link that review below. But I'll link hers as well in case you're wanting to check it out if you're oily skin. But for my dry skin, it just makes me like glowy and radiant without looking, you know, sometimes we wear a radiant foundation, it makes you look a little greasy, even though you're dry skinned. That does not do that. It really is a good foundation. And I don't know, I can't think of anybody I've heard that says that they don't like it. I'm sure that there are people that don't like it. I just can't think of anybody I've heard yet. So, and I know that this showed up in a lot of people's favorites this year. So that is my top 5 biggest surprises, I should say, of 2016. So let me tell you what's on my face today. I am wearing the Covergirl foundation in 110 right here. I'm going to work with that one as I travel here coming up in the next few months. And for blush today, I have the By Terry Sundesign palette. This almost made it. It was so close. And I'm wearing these, whoops, excuse me. Yeah, these 2 shades right here, and then a little bit more of that on the top of my cheeks for that glow. And on my eyes today, and then I'll tell you my lips, I have 2 of the ColourPop shades. I'm really trying to work with these again to see if I like them or if I don't. I just can't decide. So all over the inner 2/3 of my lid, I have Sequin. And then on the outer 2/3, I have this one that's in a weird name. It's 6H03. No. Or is it Porter? It's Porter. What a dork. They have numbers too. This is in Porter. I have that in the outer third kind of pulled up a little bit. Seriously. And then on my lips today, I have the Dose of Color in Truffle. This is, I've purchased 4 of those. It's in a haul that I haven't edited yet, and I don't even know if it's going to see the light of day because it's really long. But anyway, and then over the top of that, I used one of the lip glosses, and this is the one in Miss Bliss from Doll 10. So I think that's everything. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, thank you so much for participating in my 2016 Game Changers. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you're having a great day, and in everything that you do, be beautiful. Bye.